Hi, my name is Kagiso. I was doing a lot of thinking and I turned to find a few interesting facts about our history. I mean, not, a, not the South African history, but the history of people. I was going through the timelines and I found, something interesting. I was thinking about it day in and day out. I couldn't stop. And then I decided to make this video just to, involve you in these thoughts of mine. Let me just start off where my initial thought of this fact came from. I thought of God's people when they were slaves under the Egyptian ruler who was Pharaoh. So God wanted his people to worship him. He therefore, sent a word. But Pharaoh refused for God's people to worship him or just to leave Egypt. So God had to raise Moses as a leader. And then in the process of God raising Moses to be a leader, Moses was able, under God's instruction, to move with God's people and deliver them to the wilderness that they may worship the Lord. Fast forward in time, you find that the Greeks had a philosophy. Their philosophy was that each and everyone who was black was destined by what they called the gods to be slaves, and each and everyone who was white was destined to be a ruler and to be above those that which were black. So that philosophy manifested in what we call colonialism. So that is when all these era occurred, the era of apartheid, the era of racism. It occurred under that philosophy. So God had to now raise leaders who were to deliver his people now. So God raised the late Martin Luther King Jr. He raised the late Nelson Mandela. Also in the Bahamas, he raised it's Sir Lyden Pendleton. So there are main leaders whom God raised in that matter. So I'm just mentioning those three just to to capture your mind. So my thought was, why were those people born in those certain ages, not now? I began to think, if Nelson Mandela was born in this age, in this century, would he be as useful as he was? If Moses was born in this age, would he be as useful as he was? No, he wouldn't. Are we oppressed? I mean, the question that I'm asking is, are we oppressed in the sense that we need someone who will deliver us from a certain place to another? No. So Moses was born in the age that which he was born for a certain reason. Nelson Mandela was born in a certain age for a certain reason. Martin Luther King Jr. was born in that certain age for the certain reason. So it comes down to me concluding that each and everyone who was born at a certain age was destined to be in that certain age because of their purpose. They had a role to play in their societies, in their communities. They had a role to play to the whole nation. So the leaders that I've mentioned are leaders who played a role to the whole nation that which they belonged. So there are also leaders who played roles in, their societies, their communities. So now it brings me down to this question. Why were you born in this age? Why specifically did God make you to exist in this century? Since now we are under this crisis, the coronavirus, you have to ask yourself that why were you born in that certain age? Maybe I was born to make this video for you to be notified or for you to be made alert that you were born also in this time for a reason. That you were born in this age for a reason. It might be that you were born to be a prayer warrior, that you have to pray for your nation. It might be that you were born to, to be a businessman. There might be a business that might emerge in this crisis. It might be that you were born, to be a leader in your community, to influence people in your community, in your society. So now I want to leave you with this question as I'm ending this video. Why were you born in this age?